Well, hello everybody. September 18th, and this is your Grand Portage Community Garden Update. And I gotta tell you, it's over. It is absolutely over. 2 nights of, I think it got down to 27 here, and it was below freezing for about 7 hours. The night before last, it was about 5 hours of below freezing. And so, I basically mowed it all, tilled it all. I still do have the peas. I think those are, it's going to be like in the 70s again, like in a couple days. So it's just, such huge temperature swings, especially up here on top of the hill. But it's basically over. So it's getting there ready for next year. I threw down some fertilizer and some cover crop seeds, some clover, and some buckwheat in here. So this should start growing here pretty soon, or it might not until spring, who knows. But yeah, there's some asparagus there still going. I'll just leave that till next year, and probably in a couple weeks I'll get those peas over there. Show you the rest of this. Thank God for this little tractor, this BCS. It is an amazing piece of machinery. Granted, I've had to get a cortisone shot in each palm of my hands, because my hands, every day I get done running this thing, it feels like I punched a wall a dozen times, a brick wall. But it does the job. So here's where my tomatoes and cucumbers were. This hoop house here that's covered, I actually still have peppers and cucumbers in there. I'll show you. Yesterday I had this, or I came in here and actually the peppers and stuff were still looking pretty good. But after last night, it looks like they're toast. I thought I could leave them in here, but I'll have to take all these out today. Hopefully they're not too bad. I'm guessing it's just the leaves. There might be a few of the peppers that are damaged, but they're all pretty small, but it'll still be decent. And there's still a bunch of cucumbers in here. I think they'll be fine. The nights aren't going to be dropping so low over the next week, so I'll have plenty of cucumbers and peppers for farmer's market, our last farmer's market, next Wednesday. I do have to thank Chad in forestry, but especially Chad, because he did all the work. Just like a mile and a half down the road, there still is this massive pile of about 40-50-year-old sawdust, and it's composted down so well that it's basically just soil. It's amazing. So he brought over, God, it must have been 20 or 30 truckloads of it. And what I did is I used Bobby the Bobcat here and brought it into this garden here, because this ground is so compacted clay. I mean, there's like 2-3 inches of topsoil, but it is just clay. And I mean, even to till it, like our tiller just scratches the surface because it can't even break through that stuff. So I brought in bucket after bucket of that sawdust and then tilled it all in to kind of build soil structure. So it was kind of a roll of the dice, but This garden over here, we call it the expansion, the newest addition, is, I don't know, maybe 30% bigger than the other one. So once this is fully planted this year, I mean, I did have squash in there, but once this is fully planted next year, it's going to double our food production. And I mean, we produced a lot too. It's always hard to get rid of stuff actually, but now we're going to have so much that, you know, people are going to have to start buying like canning jars and canning this food. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be turned into compost because, you know, it'll just be so much. But I have hope that people are going to, especially with all the things going on in the world, that people are going to start relying more on all the food that I produce up here. That's kind of what it's for. So, another cool project I'm working on here. Because of the clay, I had such an issue with root crops this year in the ground. So thanks to the National Park Service, they were replacing some signs, and they had a boneyard of wood, surplus wood. And my negotiation skills, I was able to get these garden beds here I built already, and I used the last of our compost. This one I built yesterday, pretty good size. And today I plan on building these other two, so I'll have 5 raised beds here, which will pretty much be all carrots, beets, onions, you know, rutabagas, parsnips, stuff like that. Whatever I want, really. Yeah, everything I had in the ground this year was just a total failure. So, you know, I was like, oh, how can I resolve this next year? I thought I'd build some raised beds. And raised beds for me in my personal garden have always been such a great success up here. And actually, if you look over here at the private gardens, the best productive gardens are actually all raised beds. Not that people don't get stuff in the ground, but the more productive garden beds here are raised beds. So that's kind of what my aim is here, is to have, you know, high levels of production and quality food in the shortest time possible, since we're in zone 4, I think, up here. But this fencing is pretty much done, except for this little gap. I wanted to leave it open so I could haul material in and out a little easier. Once I get these garden beds done today, I will probably on Monday put this section up of fencing and just call it done. I think I can just wheelbarrow compost in through this door, so I'm not too worried about it. Either that or I'll bobcat it in. But either way, you guys should I'm always accepting volunteers. I'm always accepting donations. We had basically all of our lawn mowing tools break this year. We had a riding lawnmower that broke, push lawnmower that broke. Actually, a couple push lawnmowers break. Our weed whacker is pretty much history. Our DR trimmer could go at any time. I did just replace the belt on it, but it's got carburetor issues, and I'm hoping to resupply and all that stuff and get another big truckload of compost for our garden beds and just supplementing. So there's always a need up here. If anyone has a surplus or some ideas or just some extra time, you're always welcome to come up and help, and I'll get you to work digging rocks or picking rocks or even cutting grass and, you know, whatever the case is. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.